This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, got sewer and water.
Oh, it's illegal. Do not do that.
I could put up a revival tent, but I got an empty sanctuary. I can just fit and people come in there. I got ready.
Yeah, I was Liz coming. I mean, she's not here on time, it's not, we're not all waiting for her.
We got a minute. Well, my phone now is working. I call the meeting of the planning and zoning and see if I can do work. Has everyone looked at the agenda? I'll accept a motion on the agenda.
Going to make a motion to approve the agenda that was submitted.
Did everyone get a chance to read the minutes from November 15th? I'll accept a motion. You're all reading.
I wasn't here last meeting. I'll let y'all ask. I was excused.
We didn't get you one.
We just told you that to make you feel better.
That's right.
I'm like, I don't think. They're not in the packet, you just have to go to the. Yeah, you have to go.
Well, that's, I'm still looking.
And then just go find the last.
I keep downloading our planning and zoning, but same one for today.
I mean, some, was it in
I
the,
have three of them
and
now.
then go all the way to the right to the lower down.
So I've done that on the side.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
And all the way to the right. You'll know, give me 1 second. Yeah, all the meeting minutes and meeting agenda packets are on the website. If anybody ever needs them. And that's where you can go get them. Loads up.
So I'm on that. Which one is it?
November 22nd.
No, yeah,
Oh.
11, 15,
Yeah,
22.
you're right.
And
Yeah.
go into legal minutes there. It's a
We didn't do,
PDF version.
we didn't have any in December.
No.
Ooh, 16, 17, 18, 20 megabytes. What a deal. I remember.
They say it's on church.
Yep, I make a motion that we accept the minutes from last meeting. Whatever the date was,
November 15th.
November 15th, 2022.
Who was the second?
Church.
Sure.
Okay. Do you have any public comment?
Do we talk now? I mean, for that? Or do you want them to talk now, or if they're here on an agenda item, are you gonna let them talk during? Because the commission doesn't let them talk during
Well, now I know, and then, you know, they can get it all over it. We don't want to take all day.
So,
I'm sorry. would you
Deanne Kimbrough?
State your name.
Deanne Kimbrough. We are here in regards to the cannabis facility that's wanting to go in. Bobby. We very much are against it. And and asking for the variance of it. One, it's next door to our building, and we know the people that have the facility, the other grow facility that's there. Patrick McMahon and I have spoken in depth about this, and Kendra Angel too, and that she was gonna try to be here and she couldn't. But the smell from that place is almost making them shut down their office there. And when you have buildings that are attached one to the other like that, I don't think you should submit the other people that you're attached to. If something that I was doing was affecting the business that's attached to me in another building, that's not fair. You know, and I understand this is gonna be a dispensary, but again, when you have a dispensary there, once you give that variance for that, the grow house can go right behind it in the same facility. And we have a real issue with that.
They can't do it in the same. They can't be in the same.
They can separate it right
They
there.
can't still be in the same building.
It has to be a different type. So they're doing dispensary, and that is where you can only have the dispensary.
Or you can only sell it.
If you have to do a micro business or something to be able to have the retail and the grow in the same.
The other thing that I talked to several of the people that had businesses down by the vape shop, which is kind of the same type of business. They had a lot of problems with kids coming in, wanting their employees to go buy for them and things like that. They said it was very discouraging to have their businesses there. One of them shut down and moved because of it, the problems that they were having with the vape shop. And when you're asking, you only have one facility in town and you're already asking for a variance, I think you've opened yourself up for variances all over the place. I think you're gonna end up with them by churches, schools, and because you don't have a leg to stand on. At that point, once you've opened up one variance, you're opening them up for everything. And that's,
Well, if the variance is dedicated for a certain item, then that is the only thing on there that could be asking for another variance. And of course, repetitive variances is when you need to change the code. If they ask for, and this is from cannabis to cannabis facility. So if somebody else come around and said from cannabis to a school, it's tomato, potato, different item. But so it would not open that up to be.
it opens them up to have them next door all over town.
Anybody can request a variance for any
Well,
opportunity.
we're opposing the variance.
And that's,
And thank you for your time today. After providing the letter, this is something that's very deep and troubling to me. Ian and I have invested a lot of money in Leamington. We provided, and we do own several businesses in the building now that we put a lot of money in, but not just that, but one thing with Deanne is she, we could probably charge her a lot more rent than we charge, but she's provided people, and I could probably list on our hand of the single mothers that wanted to start a business and have started a business. The business we have, one of the businesses is the antique store. We've got about 28 vendors in there, and it's a family-friendly business. Bottom line, we really don't want drugs to be sold at the building next door to. It doesn't belong on Main Street. We're not belong anywhere in some people's opinion, but the law is what the law is, but not on Main Street. This is what, and we got the city, got Main Street, we've got EDC, we've got people and organizations that's trying to improve this area. Drugs is not the place to serve. Main Street is not the place to provide drugs. I mean, it's going to create traffic, it's going to create crime, and we're very much opposed to it. This about this letter. I can summarize it. if you like, but if you all have 10 free, just if you have, it's only me just reading this.
But it is a
So
risk.
we ask, in order to protect the existing businesses, in order to protect the families that, and entrepreneurs that have tried to start a business there, let's find a different place for this cannabis. So we say we definitely opposed to it, and we appreciate your support in denying it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Anyone else?
Okay, we have the, go
Can
ahead.
I speak on a non-action item?
Sure, come on,
Please state your name.
please take it.
Vivian Sumney. Summney. I was told before Christmas, I called code enforcement on one of my neighbors, and I was told before Christmas that she had taken care of the problem I called on, but she told me that my neighbor wanted to put in an RV park. And I have spoken to all but one of my neighbors, and none of us is open to an RV park. We're a dead end street. There's 4 houses on the block. We have very little police presence. And as it is, we have 18-wheelers coming down our street, coming through Lee County rolling gas. I'm on East End.
Oh,
Out by the old swimming pool.
yes.
Okay, and the property is directly behind me. And we're just concerned because this is a family neighborhood of permanent residents, and we don't want to see a transient population in our neighborhood or more traffic down our street. And that's all I'm here to find out about.
Well, I can tell you that there's been no application for an RV park in that area. And I know code enforcement was working on an issue with some RVs trying to set up back there, and it's trying to put a stop to that. Because it is not a licensed RV park, and they have not even submitted an application.
I remember that. They came in and.
Right, since code enforcement was there, he has enlarged the hole that he's planning on dumping the wastewater from the RV in. You know, it's like 10 feet from my back fence. I do not need a drain field behind me, especially wastewater. So, but yeah, we're just concerned about an RV park.
I'm sure they'll look into it.
Thank you.
I would be
Thank you,
code
Vicky.
enforcement out there.
Anyone else? Mr. Roberts, please state your name.
Good afternoon, I'm Ronnie Roberts. I am Commissioner of District 3 in the city of Lawrence. And that's the position I'm going to take on today. So, first of all, it's a new year. And one of my goals this year is to be hopefully taking the different groups that we have in the city and hopefully aligning at the city and these groups together so that we're all informed. And one of the things is variances, and I've spoken to a couple of people in this room, and variances, as Crystal stated a minute ago, can be asked for. But I asked, did you put some thought into why variances or why the ordinance is there? And therefore consider a variance when there is maybe an oversight or there's absolutely no other, I'm sorry, yes, from that. But to just ask for a variance because, oops, that's what I want to do there. Oh, I own the land there. I don't own it somewhere else. I mean, we've talked about several things. And so is my goal to be an intricate part of either being here at times when I'm needed or try to be here every time so that we don't have a lack of communication between this committee and up the line where it makes when it comes to commission. But anyway, on this particular variance that you're looking at today, I do have an opinion, and as you probably noticed, I do state my opinions a lot. And that's that downtown is hopefully going to become destination. That's what everybody's trying to do right now. And so I ask that you, if we're going to have a destination downtown and we're going to try to be family oriented, that I don't think this is a particular good use of the buildings downtown for this. I'm not opposing a dispensary in the city of Lovington at this time. We don't have that ability, but because it's a variance, then we do have the ability to not consider that. So my position as district commissioner is that we just really don't want another cannabis related business in our literally downtown area. Other than that, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Did the city have the opportunity to actually zone cannabis?
We have not. And all of this happened prior to my taking the position of commissioner. One of the things that we want to do is, first of all, Ms. Kimbrough, I'll just state it, I mean, everybody pretty much, I stated it everywhere else. I am against grow houses in the downtown district because I believe that any grow houses need to be in standalone businesses, standalone buildings, excuse me, that cannot impede upon your neighbors. Hopefully the action that I took helped eliminate one of those downtown, and we have been very stringent on the one that's currently still there. They are trying. I understand they're still having problems, though it is greatly reduced. But again, these buildings were not built to basically stop the transference of air between the intricate buildings. So unless you create a negative pressure situation inside a building, there's no way you can keep it from transferring to your neighbors. And I just don't believe this particular building has that ability. The current, I'm just gonna say grow house. I mean, I don't know how else to state it. They have worked as hard as a person can do, and yes, it's a lot better, but it has not been successfully eliminated. And so I just don't want to, and a dispensary, I admit, far different cry from a grow house, but it still can, I particularly hate the smell of it, okay? When I walked to, Crystal can attest, when I first walked into the facility that Constructors Inc. has, I'm like, holy cow. And I'm like, well, that's from next door. And I'm like, well, I'll see if I can get that taken care of. So we were successful there. This is my opinion though, but it's also, like I said, I am employed by my district to come here and state our opinion. So I am, and again, if you have any further questions, I'll be happy, but we have not, as a city, adapted or amended the ordinance yet. So hopefully we will be.
Crystal, this business that's a discussion, have they been cited at all? Because I know
The
they're.
one with the odor? Yes,
Right.
yes, and it was actually dismissed by the judge
We're on that too.
due to, if you hate barbecue and there's a barbecue place there, and you turn them in for their odor, what is the judge to do? Give them a citation and make them move that business? It's a thing where, one person's hate of an odor is not really a justifiable means of shutting down somebody. So, yeah, I mean, they have been cited, and they have, like you said, they have very much tried to control that. If our ordinance wouldn't have been adopted before they went in, they wouldn't be in that downtown building. Not at all. As it is, they were there before the ordinance was adopted, and so now we really don't have much leg to stand on to get them out legally without being sued.
Thank you, Crystal.
Can I ask a question? What is the odor?
The odor is the cannabis growing. Actually, it's when they go into the drying stage of the
Yeah,
cannabis.
dries.
When they have cultivated it, you know,
So we're not talking about fertilizers and things
no,
like that?
it is the actual cannabis plants. When they are cut and start to hang to dry, the odor is very, very dominant.
Like the mosquito weeds in town.
I like skunk walk by.
Is that what it smells
Gross.
So you're thinking you're smelling skunk, and you're not.
So the building that they're looking at going in now, it's actually connected to another building. It's hard to tell. in this
Yes,
picture.
it is. Well, it has
It's all
two
one
separate
building,
walls,
is it?
but they're adjoining walls. So these two adjoining walls from the antique store to this facility, and then this facility actually adjoins another wall to a residential that's been there, what, they've been there 20 years at that house, yeah. So,
So it's a multi-room, well,
multi-room, yes.
Yeah, it's a very large.
all under the same.
Didn't that used to be the old party? Where they used to buy-
Yes, it used to be Party Paper Emporium, what, 15 years ago?
It's where they have them vacant.
They have the vacant things there. Yes.
Okay, I guess.
Nice. You didn't roof, nice building. All right.
If you go back far enough,
Turners.
Oh, we're showing age.
it went back far enough, it was a field. All right. Thank you, Robbie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
That's right. I'm just gonna move out of the way.
I'm Bruce Reed, I'm the Lee County planner. I'm here in that position today. I'd like you to vote against this variance only because, same as what Mr. Roberts says, is you don't want too many of the same venue too close together. It may not be so much on this, but 40 years ago, all the cities were raving about having pawn shops come in and easy count loan offices come in. They didn't want them too close together. People drive in, you see all that, you think there's gonna be vagrants here, transients here, we're gonna be moving in and out, there'll be a lot of theft in town. Things of that nature. So you don't want, that's the idea behind the zoning laws. They didn't want venues too close together. And I don't think this one needs to be there either. And the county doesn't think this one needs to be there either. You know, follow the zoning regulations and don't give any variances unless it's absolutely need to, or there was a grandfather clause that you needed to put in. But Lovington's had this zoning regulations for a long time, and that's done very well with them, holding people to the fire and doing it, keeping the town the way they want it. Nice and easy to get around, a lot of nice people around here, not a lot of problems. I live in Hobbs. I don't live here. I'm not lucky enough to live here. We were there to begin with. They chose not to have zoning a number of years ago for a number of different reasons we won't get into. And it's in a lot worse shape than you are. At least when the people drive into Lovington, it looks like a nice town. Doesn't always look like a nice town, depending on which way you drive in the Hofstra. That's all I say.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
There you go.
Okay, now let's go into.
No.
One more.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, you don't have to do it now or
never go.
just they discuss it during the 5 minutes.
Hi, my name is Roberta Bruce, and I am one of the owners of Brian's Green Care. And so I want to say, I respect all of the opinions that are here. Some of them I actually even agree with. Not all of them, but some of them, okay? Brian's Green Care, we've been in cannabis business since May of 2015. I started with CBD products. We have a slideshow too. She's trying, but anyways, we started with CBD products. We manufacture oils, pain salves, different products. Then we added the THC dispensary whenever it became legal. this happens to be one of them. This is our Ruidoso store. So I understand what everybody's saying about the grow. We have a grow. And I would never put a grow downtown in anybody's downtown. Not Lovington's, not the city of Hobbs, not Ruidoso. It's not a good place for it. And for the exact complaints and reasons that I'm hearing today, and that is the smell. You know, I know we have a grow. We grow, we manufacture. And if you go to our manufacturing facility, it's entirely different. And it's not just the why I wouldn't put it downtown, it's also a security thing. Is another reason, to be honest with you, that I wouldn't put it downtown. So I get your point. I happen to know the owners, and I actually happen to do business with that company, which is Doza Brands. My understanding is they may be moving out. I don't know this for sure, but that is the talk. And because when I heard that talk, and I heard it from one of the owners, I thought, well, okay, this building came open, maybe we should consider putting one here. It's not the same as the grow because it doesn't have the smell like the grow does. And excuse me, if you don't mind passing these around, and these are some of our products and some of our packaging that we put in our dispensaries. And I think you'll see we're professionals. We're not drug dealers in no shape or form. We ID every customer that comes into our facility. You can't even walk in unless you're 21, period. That's the rules. We would never sell to minors. I would never ask for a variance from a school. I would never ask for a variance for a church. So to me, it's like there's some kind of I'm not here to convince any of you that cannabis is the way to go. Not at all. I am here though to let you know I'm a legitimate business, just like everybody else in town. And not only my business, I bring a lot of gross receipt tax into the cities, a lot. So I think that at some point there has to be the same amount of respect and consideration just based on that. Doesn't matter if you don't like it. It doesn't matter if you don't like the smell. I don't like sushi and I don't like the smell, but that's not the point. The point is we're a business. We're legit business. I used to be a city employee. I retired from education. I'm a retired BRA person, you know. My daughter and I are the ones that own the business and she's a nurse. I feel like we treat our dispensaries a little bit different in the sense that because it's owned by females, we kind of have a little different thought on how they should be set up. They look like boutiques. They don't look like head shops, and that's not what we want. So the way they look is important to us, and I think we have a few videos if we could go through. This is our Ruidoso store. And like you can see, everything's packaged. You don't see marijuana flying all over the place or laying around or anything like that. And I also wanted to mention too, that we have a lot of Lovington customers, a lot since 2015, hundreds of Lovington customers that we would love to have us here. If you look at these pictures, in my opinion, looking downtown, I think that we're not going to make it look bad. We're going to make it look good. Your downtown will look nice. Our business will not make it look bad. I can guarantee you. We don't just make our facilities, not just the inside, outside, the signage, everything. The packaging, our customer service, our respect to the community, our respect to really even the people that are against it, you know. We're still, and we have some pictures.
I didn't have a video on this file. Do you want to give me the flash drive?
And I do want to mention, now again, excuse me, if for some reason this variance isn't approved and the other cannabis company moves out, I wouldn't even have to ask for a variance, is that not correct? I was wondering about that. Because there is no variance or ordinance.
Will you repeat that?
If the other cannabis company moves out of that location, then there would not be a request for a variance because there is no ordinance from me establishing a cannabis facility at that location downtown. Because I'm retail. Does that make sense?
So the
Still moves out.
Oh, because of the 300.
Yeah, the 300 feet is the variance.
Yeah, she's not 300 feet away from that cannabis facility.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I probably should have mentioned it, is the variance request is the distance between the other cannabis establishment. We're not, it's about 114 feet,
Where's the other?
It's 130.
or 130.
Where's the other cannabis establishment?
On Adams.
On Washington.
No, on Washington.
Washington.
Is it near Joanne's or the Abstract Company?
It's right by the abstract.
And I went by there, I spent some time downtown, getting a petition signed by a few people. I went down there, I walked down by their place and I was like, are y'all insane? It smells. It smells. And then I went into the offices next door on both sides. And again, I'm like, it just,